This is Top Accurate Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Ukraine is strengthening its forces in the eastern Donbas region and repelling constant attacks on Bakhmut and other towns there by Russian mercenary group Wagner. Ukrainian authorities said on Monday reinforcements had been sent to Soledar, a small town near Bakhmut where the situation was particularly difficult, they said. President Volodymyr Zelensky said in nightly video remarks on Sunday that Bakhmut and Soledar were holding on despite widespread destruction. Further north in the Kharkiv region, a Russian missile strike on the local market wounded 7 civilians, including a 13-year-old girl. The Regional Center of Emergency Medical Assistance said Yevgeny Prigozhin, founder of the Wagner mercenary group, which has been trying to capture Bakhmut and Soledar for months in grinding warfare that has cost many lives on both sides, said on Saturday its significance lay in the network of mines there. Military analysts say the strategic military benefit for Moscow would be limited. A US official has said the Wagner group is eyeing the salt and gypsum from the mines there. China's military has said it carried out military exercises around the self-ruled island of Taiwan that focused on land strikes and sea assaults, the second such drills in less than a month. The People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command said in a statement late on Sunday that its forces had organized joint combat readiness patrols and actual combat drills in the sea and airspace around Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own. The aim of the exercises was to test joint combat capabilities and resolutely counter the provocative actions of external forces and Taiwan Independence Separatist Forces. Senior Colonel Shi Yi, a spokesperson for the command, said in a brief statement. Taiwan's presidential office said China was making groundless accusations and strongly condemned the drills, saying the peace and stability of the Taiwan Strait and the region were the common responsibility of both Taiwan and China. Taiwan's position is very clear in that it will neither escalate conflict nor provoke disputes, but to firmly defend its sovereignty and security, the office said in a statement. Taiwan's defense ministry said on Monday that it had detected 57 Chinese military aircraft and 4 Navy ships operating around the island over the previous 24 hours, sharing maps on Twitter to show their flight paths. Police in Brazil have arrested hundreds of people and wrested back control of the country's Congress, Presidential Palace and Supreme Court from rioting supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro. In a tweet on Sunday, the police said at least 300 people had been detained in the capital, Brasilia, after the rampage by thousands of Bolsonaro supporters who refused to accept his election defeat, a grim echo of the invasion of the United States Capitol 2 years ago by die-hard supporters of former President Donald Trump. There were no immediate reports of deaths or injuries from Sunday's assault, but the invaders left a trail of destruction, throwing furniture through the smashed windows of the presidential palace, flooding parts of Congress with a sprinkler system, and ransacking ceremonial rooms in the Supreme Court. The uprising, which lasted a little over 3 hours, underlined the severe polarization that still grips the country days after the inauguration of leftist President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who narrowly defeated Bolsonaro in the October election. In a news conference from Sao Paulo State, Lula accused Bolsonaro of encouraging the rioting by those he termed fascist fanatics and read a freshly signed decree for the federal government to take control of security in Brasilia. The president then flew back to Brasilia to tour the ransacked buildings and oversee the response. President Joe Biden visited the US-Mexico border on Sunday for the first time since taking office, tackling one of the most politically charged issues in the country as he prepares for a re-election bid. Accompanied by Border Patrol agents, Biden toured a section of the wall that divides the two countries, a signature priority of his Republican predecessor, Donald Trump, in an effort to demonstrate that he was taking the issue seriously. Biden on Thursday said his administration would tighten immigration enforcement by blocking Cuban, Haitian, and Nicaraguan migrants at the border, expanding the nationalities of those who can be expelled back to Mexico. But that has not impressed Republicans like Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who accused him of failing to enforce immigration laws. Joined by Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, the president also visited the Bridge of the Americas, which connects the United States and Mexico, and viewed equipment that border officials use to detect illegal drugs. Shipping traffic in the Suez Canal was proceeding normally on Monday after tugs towed a cargo vessel that broke down during its passage through the waterway. The Canal Authority said the breakdown was expected to cause only minor delays, with convoys of ships resuming regular transit by 11 local time. Shipping agent Lev said the MV Glory, which was sailing to China, suffered a technical fault when it was 38 kilometers into its passage southward through the canal before being towed by 4 tugs to a repair area. The Suez Canal Authority (SCA) said in a statement, the Suez Canal is one of the world's busiest waterways and the shortest shipping route between Europe and Asia. In 2021, a huge container ship, the Ever Given, became stuck in high winds across a southern section of the canal, blocking traffic for 6 days before it could be dislodged. The MV Glory is a Marshall Islands flagged bulk carrier. Data from trackers, Vessel Finder, and marine traffic showed. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!